Okay, ma. As of now, you guys got a clarity how to work with this projects, right? So that is how to create the React JS and what are the folders we have. So now we will see some features why we are using these features. First one is what is called JSX. Okay, so JSX is what? It is stands for JavaScript XML, or it is called as a JavaScript syntax extension. Okay, so it's an XML or HTML like syntax used by the React.js. In
Yes,
syntax
Rina.
into JavaScript calls of React frameworks. The example, let me show you one example. Here itself we will go to SRC. Sorry, screen is not visible. Sorry. So what they are saying is, what is JSX? JSX is a JavaScript XML, and this is a syntax extension. It's a XML or HTML like syntax used by React.js. Okay, and it is not necessary to use JSX, but it's recommended to use in React.js. Okay, so in React.js we need to use JSX concept. And what is called components, we already discussed that one example. So in browser, there is some calculator and how it has been used using a component. For each and everything, some manipulation has been created. So that is called as a components. And one-way binding, yesterday we discussed, right? So just come here, we'll see one example. Okay. So one-way binding is component to view or view to component. So component of view to component means what? For example, any change in the component, if I'm doing any changes in the component, that would get reflected in the view. If I'm changing anything in a view, it would get reflected in the component data. Okay, so now we'll just come down. So this example will later see what it is in the React components. We'll see this later. So as this example, I'll tell you what it is. For example, this is my component. Okay, this apps extended component. So this is my component, class component. This is called as a class component. So in this component, what happened is I'm going to change some text. If example, I'll copy this. I'll just tell you the examples alone. Go to app.js. And you run this code. Running this application. So what is the local host number for React.js? It is 3000. Okay. I need to include, here I have missed to include export. So this is the one, export default app. Here is the code again. Let me copy this and I'll show you what is the one-way binding. Export default app. So we have used node right? So node will be changing the output. See here. So it is from, I got it from keys. Okay. So if I'm changing this text, okay, I'm changing the component data and it will be reflecting in the view. So that is called as a one-way binding. So now here I'm just giving us EduNet Foundation Tech-Saksham program. Save this file. So if you go and check, see here, it is showing like React, that is EduNet Foundation. Okay. So this is how, so whatever you're changing in the component, it is reflecting in the view part. Okay. So next one. So this is one-way binding. So now we will see what is virtual DOM. So yes, that is we have discussed so many times, right? So we'll see what is the definition. When a new elements are added to the user interface, if any element in the sense tags, H1 or body element, or it's going to be some paragraph or forms, tables, whatever the new elements are added to the user interfaces, the virtual DOM, which is represented as a tree. So it will be representing as a tree. So actually, this is not a browser DOM. This is a virtual DOM, which will be created in the memory itself. Okay. So each element is a node on this tree. Okay. So each element will be created as a node. In the example itself, we can see virtual. So it has been created as a node. Like this, it will be created. Okay. And if the state of any of this element changes, state means a behavior in the sense some activity, some functionality is going to be changed, okay, in an element. Then what happened? A new virtual DOM tree is created. Again, one another tree will be created virtually. Okay, so this is the main important thing why we are going for this. And if you want to check the images explanation, you can refer that website. And what are the pros and cons? Definitely, there will be a pros and there will be a cons while you're using the like any library or frameworks or what kind of software API, whatever it may be, right? So here, this is easy to use and learn, and this is a dynamic web application and reusable components and a performance enhancements. How it is improving the performance? Using a virtual DOM again. So they are mentioning the same thing and support a handy tools. Handy tools means what? We have CRA tools, which helps to install the, that is millions of, sorry, not billions, the different dependencies that's been installed. Okay, and known to be the SEO. This is actually a SEO friendly. Why it is saying like SEO friendly? In traditional JavaScript frameworks, have an issue in dealing with SEO. Okay, traditional frameworks, JavaScript frameworks, we have so many. So we'll check. So these are the traditional frameworks we are using for JavaScript. React.js is a library, sorry, that is also, it is called as a library, React.js. So these are all called as a frameworks. Okay, what they are trying to say is in the traditional JavaScript frameworks. So these are the frameworks. In this frameworks, what is the issue is dealing with SEO, search engine optimization. Sorry, is there any issue, ma? Avanti College. I heard some sound. Okay. So it is called as a search engine optimization. What is search engine optimization? So there are so many important things we have. Like so in nowadays, okay. Apart from this subject, I'll tell you one important thing. Okay, there are so many different openings we have. Okay, like you can work for front end. Okay, you can work for back end. Okay, and the one more thing is in a front end itself we have so many options. So what are the things like you can work as a UI UX, okay, and you can work as a web developer, and then you can also work with WordPress also. So WordPress also there is an option like you just want to edit, you should know the plugins what you need to use. And there is something called Wix and commerce. There are so many, right? So there also you have some opportunities. And apart from this, SEO, so search engine optimization, digital marketing, like this, there are so many opportunities if you know the basics of how you work on this. Okay, so actually this is a, you know this traditional things doesn't have any search engine optimization. So what is a main important thing? So this search engine generally having a trouble in reading JavaScript heavy applications. We It is very hard to read a JavaScript heavy application. If it is HTML, they can change something here. Like in HTML, they will be adding some title and description over there, and they will give some keywords also. When it comes to a JavaScript, it will be little complicated, right? So many web developers have often complained about this problem. So in React.js, what happened is this has been overcome, so that helps the developer to easily navigate on various search engines. So it is because React.js application can run on this server also. So again, they are saying like virtual DOM. So this is a very important keyword. If you are attending interview, you must definitely describe what is virtual DOM, what is JSX, and we should know what is one-way binding. So these are the important ones and components also. So what are the benefits we'll be getting? So you can also test, you can also debug their codes, okay? And here also we have some disadvantages. What are the high pace of development? So we need, see here the environment continually changes so fast. Some of the developer not feeling comfortable to relearn the new ways of doing things regularly. So before 5 years, before 4 to 5 years, okay, maybe. So what happened is in the industries they were using a class components. There are two things, okay. There is something called as class component and functional components. Suddenly, what happened is the every marketing people as been the IT industries are using a functional components. So there is some collapse has happened. Some companies are using class, some companies are using function. So this may change, the environmental changes. That is a problem over there, and poor documentation. So updating, accelerating so fast, there is no time to make a proper documentation. For example, if I'm updating something, if you go and check the version also, okay, let me go and check the version. Here you can see the last version is 18.2.0. If you go into my command prompt, if you see what is the version I have, like 18.30, that is 18.30. So why this change has been happened? Because previously there is a version called 18.13, so that has been installed on my PC. So now it is like 18.2. So there are multiple variations and changes is happening. So there is no proper documentation regarding that. And the view part, for example, React.js covers only the UI layer. You're not going to do anything apart from this, right? So you still need to choose some other technology to get complete tooling set for the developer. For example, I'm working in the React.js, okay. If I want to input some bootstrap, I want to input some bootstrap, what I need to do? I need to go to React Bootstrap. So if you go here, one second. So you need to install this particular command, then only it will be working. Okay, and JSX as a barrier. Why? So already we discussed it is called as a JavaScript extension, that is XML and JavaScript syntax extension, right? So this syntax extension that allows HTML with JavaScript mixed together. Okay, so mixed together in the previously what we will do in JavaScript like this, right? So there is some HTML code will be there, like body element. There is some body element we have, and we'll be importing some code between here, like Java, that is script element. and we will be adding a script in this place. Example, some variable will be giving and some values like this. Like this we'll be doing, right? We are embedding JavaScript into the HTML element. But here what happened is, here we'll be creating a heading, this example, okay? So this is my heading element. So in the element itself, I'll be using a curly brace and I'll be adding a JavaScript code. Here itself, I'll be adding a JavaScript code. Okay, this is the main difference. So while we are mixing, HTML, JavaScript together, so there will be some complication, right? So, but some members of development community consider JSX as a barrier. Developers complain about its complexity in learning curve. Okay, so now we'll discuss about React component. What is called React component and how we are going to use it? Let's see how to execute the code using a React component. So this is a constructor. So we need React component. One second. Okay, now. So we already know what is component, right? So how we can use it in the real time. So the component is considered as a core building blocks of React application. Okay, it makes the task of building UIS much easier. So I already told you, if some component is having issue, then what happens? That particular components will be get edited and it will be get updated, right? So it will not going to affect the other components and other modules. Okay, so that is the main reason we are using this. So each component exists in the same space. There will be a same space for all the components. Example, I have a component like A, B, C, D. So each and every components will be having the same space. So that is the main important thing. And but they work independently from one another and merge all in the parent component. If I have some different components or class components, so that everything will be get merged within the class component. So how we do it in Java, the same concept here also. Okay. So here if you see, there are two types of components we have. So one is called as functional components, the another one is called as a class components. Okay. So what is called as functional component? Okay. So functional components are a way to write component that only contain a render method and don't have their own state. So there will be no behavior at all. There will be no behavior or adding some details. So this will be called as a functionless component. Okay, this is called as a functionless component. So they are simply a JavaScript function that may or may not receive data as a parameter. Okay, so while you are creating functions, how you create a function? The same thing. So function keyword, and you will be giving a that is name of a function, and you need to use this props, okay, property as an input and returns what should be rendered. Okay, so let's see what is the syntax. So here they have given, right? See here, stateless component. Functional component is called as a stateless components. Why they are saying? Because they do not hold or manage the state. Here we have a simple example. We are importing a React package and the component from React. Okay, so component from the React, and now what is the function keyword we need to mention, and the app of. One second. One second, ma. One second. Sorry, guys. So now, if you see, this is a basic example. Like, first we need to import React component. So you need to use a curly brace for JavaScript codes. Okay, and sorry for the the packages which you are going to import. And after this, you'll be giving a function. And what does a function mean? Okay, so you may give props, or if you don't want to give. So, and then here we are giving a variable name and the text which is going to be print. So here in the functional components, after declaring a value for your variable, you definitely need to return that particular value. So how we can return this? Within the bracket, you need to give div. So previously what we will do in CSS, we'll just give it as a class, right? Okay. So for ID, we'll be giving it as an ID. But here, if you want to specify some class name, we'll be using a class name. So this is a camel case. And here I'm giving a value as app. Okay. And within this, it is called as paragraph, and here I'm just giving a text. Okay, so text is, it is, if I give it like this, it will be printing a text. But if I give within this curly brace, it will be considered as a what? JavaScript. So whatever we have given here, it will be printed in the paragraph mode. So let's check. So the app.js will be doing this. So let's go and check the output. Here you can see the hello world has been printed. Okay, if I'm just removing this curly brace, here it is only printing the text. If suppose I'm giving this value to be some numbers. So it will be showing as a number. Okay, so it will be changing automatically when you use nodemon. So this is the step how you will be creating a function. Okay, this is called as a functional component, and you can also change the elements if you want to. Actually, this is a the class name, and this is a value attribute, and this is a value. You need to mention this. If I'm changing this, uh, actually here we have not used anything for this class name, so it is not showing any error. But if I use this class name somewhere else, it will be show you as an error instead of for me. I will change this to heading. See here it is in what a heading tag. I change this to be the and then GEC College. If you go and see here, it will be in a bold letter. So like this, you can do it. Okay. And next part is we can see about the class component. So what is called as class component? So class components are more complex than the functional components, but nowadays most of them are using class component. Okay, it requires you to extend from the React. See here. So if you are creating a class, see we are using extend and we are getting it from the React. That is React.component should be mentioned over there. Okay, but in a function we don't want to do that. We can directly give what is a function, a function name. So, and then in this place, previously we are just using a return, but here you need to use a rendered method. So the class, if you are creating a class component, what are the important things? You need to mention the class name using extends keyword. You'll be getting react.component. Okay. And after this, you need to render. You need to use this method. Otherwise, it will show the error as an output. Okay. If I come down, so what I'm going to return? What I'm going to return this. So here I'm creating a div container. Okay, this is my parent class. Inside this, I'm giving a child class name. So these are the two child I have created. That is created first and second. Okay, so just come down. So this is called as a class first and class again. Using extends keyword and extending to react.component. And here also what you need to do, you need to use a rendered method and return. Okay, and div container, and the second extends react component, and you will be returning this value and you will be printing this value. So these are the important things we need to remember. So now we will write a simple code in this class. So this will be the same thing. Okay, so you don't want to edit this. So here you will remove this particular thing. Okay, and this is also important, exporting the default app. So here if you go in the class app, I'm just giving a what is a class name, you need to export it. Okay, so class name extends keyword. So for all the classes, okay, for this is my first class. I'm creating one more class. Its name is first. Again, I'm using extends keyword. And then I need a third class. You can also create a number of, the class name. I'll just change this name alone. Second, third. Okay. So in this extends, what we need to extend? We need to extend the React dot component. Okay. We are extending a React dot component. Here also you need to copy this. Whatever the class you are creating, class component, you need to extend using this one. Okay. So here what we will be doing, we need to create a render method. So here also we need a rendered method. So now all the classes will be specifying a render method. If it is a class component, you will be creating like this. Okay. So now after doing this, here you need to return the value. So what you're going to return? So return off. You need to give a semicolon for this return. Okay. And finally, in this return, I'll be mentioning what are my, child class. Okay. So here I have first and then second and third. Okay. So now we'll come down. So what it should return in my first element? In my first element, it should print some data. And so here also you need to use a return of the semicolon here. And in this place, we'll be giving some values. We create some form. Like this I've given. And here in the heading, we mentioned as sign in form. Okay. So let's come down here in the second extents. I'll be creating one table. Okay. So here I'll be giving as returns of. So here I will create a table. Mm, Here I'll be giving a table data. Instead of table data, first I'll give table th. Okay, I have created one more table. So here what we can create, let me try to put some image. On this image, let me print it as the error. Render method should return the statement. Okay, so we need to mention return run this again. See here, like this, we'll be getting, the details in the different, class components. You can create, you can insert, you can also import some background colors and whatever you are doing in the, the HTML. So you can also do it here. So I request you all to create a front end using React.js because this going to help you in your interview also. So you'll be getting some better, there are, this is a very good scope if you get a job in this React.js. Okay, it is very peak. Okay, so now if you want to have some, kind of changes in app.js, you can go it here and you can give some changes whatever you want. You can specify it, or else you can directly give the colors whatever you're going to change here in the element itself. You can specify so what exactly you're going to change. Okay, clear? So now we understood this class component and the function component. Now we'll understand what is called as JSX. So JSX, yeah, we have some idea, right? So JSX is nothing but it's a React component that have a rendered function. Okay, this render function specify the HTML output of a React component. So what is it all about? Why we have to do this? See here, this JSX is a HTML-like syntax used by the React that extends a ECMAScript so that HTML-like syntax can coexist with the JavaScript and React code. So actually, this has been converted. How it is converted? Using a preprocessor. What are the preprocessor? Example, transpilers like Babel. So we have it in our packages, right? So to transform the HTML like syntax into the standard JavaScript object. Okay, that is the main purpose we are using this. The preprocessor are helping to convert it. Okay, so in this, see here this point, the JSX provides you to write HTML and XML like structures, example DOM like trees, in same file itself, where you write JavaScript code. Then the preprocessor will transform these expression into an actual JavaScript code. So here they are saying, so how this Babel, making the conversion between JSX file into the corresponding output. Actually, we are giving this, right? In the DIV container, if I give some content like hello world, this is not automatically uploaded in the browser. So what happened is this will be corresponding, that is, it will be changing to the corresponding output. How it is changing? React dot create element. So in JavaScript, what we will do, to create an element, we use this method, create element. Okay. So in this, we are providing a three parameters. The first parameter is what is your element. Okay. So see here, this is a syntax. First one is an element. What is the element name that you need to specify? And what is your attribute? Did you mention any attributes? No. So it is mentioned as null. And what is the text? The content it is true. Example, if I have one more file, heading 1 and class name equal to some like this I have given some text. So here how it will be, the output will be converted into just copy this. So here it will be the element. What is the element here? H1 mentioned within the double quotes because this is in a parameter, right? So comma. So here we have an attribute. What is the attribute? Attribute name is text. Okay, and what is the content? It is. So like this it will be considering. Okay, so you should understand so how it is working. So this particular process is happened using a Babel preprocessors. That is only source, converting the HTML file into the JavaScript thing. Okay, here we have some example for app.jsx. So we already know so how to work with class components. We need to extend use the extends keyword, render method, and return. Again, here also the same thing is repeated. So here we'll see about the expression. So how the expression is handled. So nothing but so just get into this particular thing. So here if I'm giving like a paragraph, so I'm just giving us captcha. So I've given like this. Now I'm going to ask a user what should be the value. Okay. So example, I'm asking the user like 2 plus 5. So this is like captcha, the mathematical calculation. You can do the mathematical calculation here. Like you can also give multiplication. Sorry, not here. You need to give it here. It's also reflected. You can use divide and use modulo. Whatever it may be, you will be getting a output. I hope you all clear with this, JSX, and how we can add the, commands here. The same thing in Java, how we will do in Java, we'll be giving like, this is simple form. Okay, so here what we need to do is we need to mention within the libres. Okay, so either you can do it, otherwise you can leave it as this one. This is a simple form. So if you are going to use it between the HTML element, then we will see. Okay, so you are getting the output, right? And next, how we are going to style. That is, JSX styling is applied. Okay, so simple. If example, I want to color something, or if I want to give some style for this, then what I will do. So what I need to do is I need to give some kind of variable initialization, and then I'll be giving what is a property and then value. Here you don't want to mention like a pixels. You don't want to mention it as a pixel because it is defaultly it would be considered as a pixel if you give a value. Okay, and it should be in a camel case. If you are giving a property, then that should be in a camel case. Okay, so this is the information. So we will code now with simple CSS JSX styling. Okay, let me try to apply the color here itself. Yeah. So in the form itself, I'll just here's a component. So you should not do it in the inside the return method. You need to use it after the render method. Okay. So after the render method example, I'm giving as a is equals to some value. Okay. Right. So here I'm giving some font size. Okay. So font size. So default it is like some pixel values. I don't want to mention the pixels. So here, sorry, here you need to mention as a comma because you are adding the value. So how you are doing in the CSS external sheet, the same thing. Okay. So next I'm adding the font family. It's going to be a Courier. And color, let me give it as so given some color. Now I'm going to add this within some elements. So I can add it. So here in H1, let me add it style. To give it as a style. Okay, so you are importing it. So you need to mention within a curly brace. Here I'll be adding what is the name. It is A. Okay, it is applied, and I'm going to apply for this as well for the table as well. This. So happen for sign-in form it has been applied, and for table it is not working. We'll check. Okay, so here you need to mention right in render method. Let me copy this. Let me change this to B. Here I'm just giving it as 75. I need ADL. Color. I think we can do some ash color. Showing some each. Here you need to mention it as B. So we'll discuss this later. Okay. So adding styles. This is a procedure actually, but it is showing some keyboard error. Not a problem. This. Okay. So as of now, we understood so how to apply, that is styling in JSX. Now we'll come down. So here, what they are doing is they are, using a ternary operator. We know what is ternary operator, right? So ternary operator is nothing but it will find it is same like if condition. So how we will be using a if condition, the same problem, same will be applied. So let's see. Let me remove all this. So here I will give it as class app extends keyword and to be component. Okay. So like this we have created. I need a render method and then 1 second. Sorry. Okay. In this render method, so we'll be changing it to 1 minute amount. Okay. So inside this render method, I'll be creating a variable. Okay, example, let me take as a5. After this, so declaration part is after the render method. Am I right? So after this, I will be whatever the manipulation you'll be giving inside the return method. So inside this return method, I'll be I'll be giving some values. So inside div container, okay, I want some value to be printed within the heading element. What it is nothing but I'm going to use a ternary operator. Ternary operator, I will check whether a equals to 2. Okay, whether a is equal to 2 or not, and question mark. If it is true, you will be getting as a true. Otherwise, it will show it as a false. See, it is showing as a false because we have given 5. It is if we change this, it will be showing as a true. Okay. So we can also apply, this one, ternary operator. Okay, the next part. So we will see about state. So what is states? So as of now, do you have any questions you can ask me? As of now, do you have any questions regarding this?